The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Hey, welcome back to another episode of the HBCU Hour presented by the Golden Boot. It's your boys, Pooh Bear and Ant. What's good, my boy? How you doing this evening?
Man, it was a Monday, if a Monday ever Mondayed.
I heard that, man. I started my day off. I got to work, and you know what I'm saying? Usually, you know what I'm saying, when I come out of town, you know what I'm saying, I come to work, I give people, hey, what's up? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Dap, chop it up, you know what I'm saying, talk a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Tell a dad joke or two. I got to work today. He said, what's up, man? Glad to see you. Hey, before you just drop your bag off, and I need you to go out there and help Steve. Like, okay. It's 110. It's 110 degrees outside, bro.
Yeah. It was 104 here, but it felt like 112.
Happy Monday. So, but we here, man. And y'all are here with us. So you know what it is. We appreciate you for joining. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. We appreciate that. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. If you enjoy the show, shoot us a super chat for support. We appreciate it. Thank y'all for being here. Shout out to our man, always in the building, Chuck Hunt. What's good, Chuck? Go ahead, get ready, get your facts ready, drop them in there. HBCU band talk. What's good? Hey, and I don't know if you've been paying attention, but after every episode, since they putting it here, I don't know. But after every episode, I go back, we get a message, and then I always say Hell Wildcats. So Bethune-Cookman been representing. They've been representing in them chats, man. And we know, I appreciate it. At first, I was like, Lord have mercy. I get it. Hell Wildcats. But nah, man, y'all do y'all thing, man. We appreciate it. Look forward to see what y'all gonna do. Is y'all gonna travel so y'all can get these 3-4 performances and make this national championship? Bethune, y'all on the clock. People been talking about you. But y'all know what it is. Anyway, let's get this thing rolling. But you know what we gotta do first? Give a shout out to our sponsors over at BetOnline. BetOnline.ag will be back in 1 minute. BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your sports information, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds, lines, and player injury reports for this year's NBA and NHL playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters. This season, we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. We have everything from NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL to golf, tennis, UFC, and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games that you can play right from your home. Head on over to betonline.ag today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use the promo code BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. You back. Hey, speaking of BetOnline, play some bets and stuff. HBCU players in the NFL, they've been making some noise.
Yeah.
This past week alone, Marquise Bell, 2 years removed from FAMU, he had a game with them Cowboys. 10 total tackles, 4 of them were solo, and a pass breakup. I thought I saw him get a pick, but I think that might have been a previous game. But Marquise Bell was out there. Then, of course, everybody saw the show that Emmanuel Wilson put on. 6 carries, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns in the Packers preseason game uh, against the Bengals. Then you had Isaiah Bowden. He only had 2 tackles, solo tackles, but he made a big impact on the return game. I know I saw one really good return. I think it was like 2 or 3 though. So we're seeing players all over making big plays. I'm trying to think. It's some more. It's some more.
I know Shaq Davis had a couple catches for the Saints.
Thank you.
So I mean, there's a lot of guys who getting playing time and who out there making an impact. But some of the guys you mentioned, especially that running back from Green Bay, I think he might have made himself the roster. Yeah, Mr. Wood. I think he might have made the roster with his performance.
Yeah,
or at least practice squad.
Right. What was I about to say? I'm about to tell you, and you kind of mentioned it. God, Shaq. I can't even think of the guy. You said Shaq. I don't remember seeing Mark Evans.
I don't remember seeing them neither. I really wasn't paying attention though, but
yeah,
he might have been there.
Yeah. Hey, our man is back. Zay said, guess who found out Facebook restrictions? Y'all pray for me. Zay, man, get on Facebook. Get on YouTube, man.
Speaking of Bet Online. Speaking of Bet Online, over under a month for him to get back on Facebook jail.
I got faith in him. I'm gonna go with the over. I'm gonna go with the over. Nick, oh man, Nick, what's good, man? He said less under. He going under.
Definitely less.
Oh man,
I give it 2 weeks.
Yeah. Now Chuck brings up something. He said, "I believe these HBC players who did not get drafted are going to make more of an impact in the NFL than those who were drafted. Considering there was only one person drafted this past year, I think he I'm not saying Isaiah, no shot against Isaiah."
Hotel Wi-Fi. And I got my boy. I think what he was saying was no shot to Isaiah Lamb, but some of these other guys are at a depth chart. Well, I ain't gonna speak for Pooh, but what I would say was to that point is Isaiah Lamb is at a depth chart wise, maybe not in the best position compared to some of these other guys on these other teams. And they're at positions where it's easier to kind of make a big impact because as a defensive end, you got to have, a 2-3 sack game to kind of make the impact that some of these other guys are having, the equivalent of that impact, especially when you consider 6 carries, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's a huge impact. And I just don't know if Isaiah Lamb is going to get the opportunity in the preseason to make that same type of impact. But I think overall, duration of the season, over the course of a couple seasons, I think he'll definitely have the impact that, being drafted in his position would demand or would ask for. I don't know what's going on with Pooh. There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you a little bit.
Man, listen.
That hotel Wi-Fi got you.
I thought my laptop was plugged up. It's been off the charger all day. It's been off the charger all day. I thought when I left, I plugged it up. At least I thought I did. So that's what happened when you ain't, what I'm saying, you ain't got home court advantage.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
But now you was talking about Isaiah Lamb, and I kind of said I think that the depth chart,
Isaiah Bowden. I said it's nothing, no shot against him, but it's more of a chance. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Nick Thomas crazy.
And they say Zay come back confused in Wi-Fi jail. Coincidence? I think not. Nah, it wasn't the Wi-Fi. Oh, he said just like the Suns' chance of winning.
Oh, D-Lob said he
Whoa.
saw Mark Evans put somebody in that dirt. So
Okay,
I
that's
guess
what.
Mark
See,
was out there. I
yeah, I
didn't
was
see him.
looking.
I wasn't paying attention though.
I
In the
was look.
second
Well, I ain't
half, I
gonna say I was
really wasn't
looking.
watching that hard.
I was trying to watch on the plane, but so I think by the time I had landed, it was like third quarter, and so I was trying to
Yeah.
get to the car and
My
all that.
son
So I
was
missed
cutting
like
up.
all of them.
My son was asleep for the first half of the game, but he
Oh,
woke
so
up
you
during
you
that
got you
second
you
half.
knew you got all the insight for the first half.
Yeah, for the
Second
first
half,
half, I saw everything. In the second
yeah,
half, yeah, I was kind of listening and kind of,
yeah,
watching as I could. But
yeah. Trying to see. So we've seen guys. Who was it last year? From Fayetteville State, the cornerback that's with the
with the
cornerback that's with the
Chiefs,
Chiefs. Yeah,
I can't remember his name.
Josh. It says for Josh something. God, I can't believe I'm blanking on it. But we saw like saying he have an impact on the game early. You also see guys like Jacoby Durant, who's making
Mm-hmm.
big noise. Speaking of that, Xavier Smith for the Rams has also been looking pretty good. So yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So
And I
it's
don't know
just
why I said Isaiah Land got drafted. I don't know what I was thinking.
yeah.
I said that while you was gone. I forgot
Oh,
the Cowboys got
UDFA,
him
yeah.
as an UDFA. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think some of
Josh Williams. I think that's right. Let's see.
Isaiah Bolden also then he went to the Patriots.
Yeah, yeah. That's the one
That's
who.
a
That's what I was
hard
talking
system.
about.
That's a
Yeah,
hard system to crack as a rookie, man.
but
Belichick
he's
defense.
a cornerback though, so
I know, but that Belichick, like, I don't. Belichick ain't just finna put you out there because he drafted you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
mm-hmm.
that's a
That's
hard.
true.
That's a hard roster to crack, bro. Especially on the
Unless
defensive side of the ball.
you went to like Jumbotron State University in the middle of Tennessee, then he'll put you out there just to prove a point.
Yeah, but like and you got to earn a spot on that roster for sure.
Yeah, but I think
Especially in that
he's
starting lineup.
yeah, but I do think that Isaiah Bolden's gonna have a pretty good year. Definitely a position of need with I'm trying to think who's
They
I know
lost
who's not there.
Gilmore.
This is second year gone from them, though, ain't it? If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
they lost him and they lost JC Jackson too.
Oh, okay.
So they lost them the past 2 years. So they kind of been
What
down at
about
corner ever since they lost them.
the McCourties? They still there? I don't know if
Nah,
they
man. One of them
see.
retired.
That shows you how much I pay attention to the Patriots. But yeah. So but best wishes to the rest of the guys, coming from the HBCU ranks that are playing in the NFL. But I tell you what, there's gonna be some more HBCU players playing in the NFL stadium this year. Bethune-Cookman and Southern, that game is going to be played in Jacksonville at Everbank Stadium. This will be the second year. Yeah, this will be the second year in a row that Bethune is playing at Jacksonville, playing in Jacksonville. They played Jackson State there last year, if I do recall. So I wonder if this game is going to end up on ESPN. I can't remember if it's already one of the ESPN games or not. I don't know. But man, if you're in that area, please go out, support, make that stadium look somewhat full.
Right. And I know it's tough playing in them NFL stadiums sometimes, because of how big it can be.
Yeah, and the crazy part about it though, a lot of NFL stadiums are small in comparison to college stadiums.
To major college ones, yeah, but not to the ones that these,
that's true.
The HBCUs play in. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like compared to a Penn State or Michigan LSU, somewhere like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
NFL stadiums are smaller, but compared to a 20,000 seat stadium, it's
Ironically, Vanderbilt is like one of the smallest stadiums in the SEC, and yeah, I think that one holds like
I can
30
kind
or
of see
40.
why that one's the smallest.
Yeah, I understand why that one, but I'm just saying, just you think about it, it's like so.
That's closer. That's closer to kind of what the FCS, NFL stadiums is kind of be. That 40,000, 60,000, somewhere around in that range.
Yeah. So, something else, man, that popped up. I was looking. There was an article out that was talking about HBCU coaches that are at ULM, former head coaches at that. And I was looking at that. I was like, yeah. And it brought me back to a conversation we had when I was telling you, like, all the schools that we visited for Jay Sean, there was HBCU coaches on those rosters. When I say HBCU coaches, meaning there were coaches who either played at a HBCU or coached at a HBCU. HBCU. I'm sorry. When I was in South Alabama, I was shocked to see Jay Hobson, former Alcorn coach, you know what I'm saying, for the Big Bad Braves. You know what I'm saying, shocked to see him. And then I was talking to the running backs coach, played at Alabama State. Same with the defensive line coach. And ironically, how I found out, I was wearing a shirt that said HBCUs matter. And the guy asked me about it. I was like, oh, at Tulane, HBCU coach. He was coaching the running backs, now coaching the wide receivers, Coach Sherman. Went to Morgan State. Started talking about, saying we were riding, talking about the Superdome. And, I talked about, Bayou Classic. And he mentioned, saying, hey, yeah, I went to HBCU. And we started talking, bam. So everywhere I've seen, and then I mentioned ULM. So you got Coach Fobbs, and then the special teams coach. He was interim head coach at Southern for a while. And I'm blanking on his name. I don't know. I have to look it up. But he was also, saying that. So you look, and it's like everywhere you look, there's HBCU connections. So obviously something is right. Saying it's in the water. HBCU guys are out there helping build these programs. And we talked about there being a coaching tree. I would love to see one, elevate and get to a point where he can come back. Jason Rollins, that's the coach at Southern. From Southern, that's at ULM right now. So I would love to see them come back, be a head coach, and start their see, boom. I knew Chuck be on it, boy. See them come back and start those coaching trees at them HBCUs. Say that again.
I think Chuck just Google real fast.
Chuck be doing. Chuck was like, man, nah, I knew Jason Rollins. He played in high school. He ran a 4.25. I
remember he scored the game-winning touchdown in the second round of the playoffs. And
no. Chuck be knowing them obscure. He go way back. Yeah, he went to such and such middle school, and he played. Saying ironically enough, since his dad drove a Lincoln.
He played it. He played against my brother's best friend's neighbor. Look at this.
Yep. See, no, he said Jason Rollins went to McNeese. I know Jason from when I attended McNeese. See,
yeah, my best friend's neighbor.
Told y'all, Chuck be on it, boy. But yeah, man. So, like I said, man, I just love to see, everywhere I go to see HBCU coaches and stuff, and see. Matter of fact, it's funny. I actually, and it's not a coach, but I just love like yesterday I had my A&M shirt on because, and I, saying when I travel or whatever, I usually try to wear a HBCU shirt or something, and stuff. And people kind of sometimes give me a, kind of look, especially when you're in Denver, in the airport, you look, Alabama A&M, what school is that? So I was in the barbershop the other day, and there was a dude getting his haircut. And then, put the cape off. He had a North Carolina A&T shirt on. It's like, oh, I've never seen that here. It's like, in Alabama? What you doing here, sir? It's like, I don't know. Maybe they trying to join the swag or something. I don't know. Anyway, Stop being petty.
Sunbelt.
John Sunbelt and Conference USA.
For real.
I said, oh, the colonizing. Never mind.
That's what the C in
Colonizing
CUSA.
colonizing.
That's what C in the
Colonizing
CUSA.
USA. Oh man. Oh man. But nah, man. But like I said, it's just good to see, you know what I'm saying, HBCUs represented like that. Man, we talked about the Big Bad Braves. Alcorn just picked up another transfer. Linebacker Dez Williams from Northwestern State.
I don't know how they keep, man. All these teams keep picking up these transfers. Valley got a couple. Alcorn got it now. Fam done picked up one. Man, and
I know how Alcorn get them.
How Alcorn did.
G slipping them McDonald bags to them boys.
G out there paying NIL money.
G got NIL money paying them boys.
But yeah, man, it's some of these late transfers. I know it's very, very late, and I don't know how much they can, impact this next season. But some of these are kind of big time transfers coming from winning programs in the McNeese and Southeastern type programs that are solid pickups for these SWAC schools.
Let me ask you a question. If you're a player and you're getting ready to transfer to have instant impact, do you think it'll be easier to do it on the defensive side or offensive side? To come in late and then go in.
Depends on the position offensively.
Okay.
I think
name a position where you
player,
think you could.
I think if you're a skilled player, I think you might could come in and make an impact because you just could learn a few package plays. You get what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
And then build off of that. But defensively, maybe if you was a pass rusher and you kind of just came in on pass rush situations, or if you were a man-to-man corner and that's all they played was really man-to-man, you know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah.
But whenever it comes to being a linebacker or learning all these stunts and all this on the D-line, or even safety and knowing all the secondary coverages and what audibles and rotations and all of that, I don't think that you could really do that coming in this late in the season.
That's understandable. I think outside of that, the next best, I guess you say, position group that you can come in and do that will possibly be specialists. You know, so kicker, long snapper, punter,
or return
specialist. Yeah.
Return specialist. Yeah, definitely return. But I think offensive specialist, like if you was a receiver and you came in and you just learned like, a handful of the plays, I think it'd be easier for you to learn what do I do on this play? What do I like? What route do I want on this play? What route do I want? You know what I mean? Than it would be for you having to learn some. But at the same time, you got timing and all that comes into effect. So maybe it's running back. But still
running
back,
back, once you learn, I think if of course learning, which lanes and stuff. I think the biggest thing with running back, you have to learn pass protection. Because if not, then it's kind of.
But see, you said to make an impact. You didn't say to become a starter. You see what I'm saying?
True.
So you can make an impact just by learning a handful of plays and being a home run hitter. But I think you're right though. Specialist is probably the easiest. Or if you're just a pass rusher called in on situational downs, kind of like James Houston was last year for the Lions. You know what I mean? Just bring him in on a third down, obvious pass rush situations.
Yeah.
Ain't really you look at
and I hate to go when we, kind of cross over, but Harold Perkins, his effect, for LSU. He was so effective in the quote unquote limited role. You look at that and I'm sorry, Dylan trying to tell me good night, man. I'm sorry. But you look at his role, but then when they kind of expand and you try to put him in coverage and stuff, then it because not because of necessarily his skill set that he couldn't do it, but um, more so because you've got to learn different zones. What
You gotta learn
responsibilities you
where to
have to
be.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why what I'm saying I do understand like linebacker stuff. And you said rusher, pass. You said pass rusher. So yeah, I can see that. D line, I think you could. Saying I think saying easily,
Depending
like
on
you said.
depending on what you do on the D line. Like, are y'all 3-4? Y'all are 4-3. I think some of that matters. Just
That's true.
depending on what your responsibilities are.
Yeah, yeah. Next up, Benedict, Virginia Union, are number 17, number 18, respectively, in the AFCA D2 poll.
Yup, yup. And there was
What? How
some
you feel? How do you feel about that? As far as like Benedict being as low as what I'm saying as 17.
I feel like that's a little too low. But you remember they didn't have the best showing in the playoffs, so I think that
That's
could be.
true.
And they did
And
lose. They
they
did.
lost their quarterback. So
And
I understand.
but
I kind of understand. I still think they should. And granted, is only a few spots higher. I think they could have been 14 at least in the top
yeah.
15. You know,
But
and
I
I
mean,
granted I know that
I
like I
don't know
said,
enough. I don't know enough about the other D2 schools
that's
to
true.
justify that ranking either, though. But
That's true.
Bowie State, Fayetteville State, Tuskegee, Morehouse, Fort Valley State, Winston Salem State, Central State, and Bluefield State all received votes in the D2 coaches poll.
Oh, that's what's
So
up. Bluefield State. Shout out to Coach Colson.
yeah,
Our
yep,
guy.
yep.
Yeah. So look forward to that. Hey, in the D1 side, the FCS, North Carolina Central at 19,
Hmm.
FAMU at 25 in the AFCA coaches poll. Now, I do know a little bit more about the FCS. I think Central is too low at 19. I think they should be in the top 15.
I can see that.
They're going to play, I'm pretty sure they're going to play some of the teams in front of them, and they beat them last year. If I'm not mistaken, there's like one or two teams that were, hold on, let me see if I can find it.
Are you
If I'm not
surprised
mistaken,
that? Are
if
you
it was like,
surprised that A&T not in there?
no, I'm not. They didn't have a really good showing last year. Um,
And they
and
lost a
that's
lot too.
yeah, they did.
I was just saying because of the conference that they in. I didn't know if they got a little more respectability for their losses because of the conference they was in.
No.
But receiving votes was Jackson State, A&T, Southern, and Howard.
Yeah.
Also in that
Um,
poll.
I'm looking here. Trying to think who was it. New Hampshire. New Hampshire's at 12. Central, if I'm not mistaken, Central beat them pretty handedly last year.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the playoffs, not going to the playoffs. I guess I don't know. I don't know the reasoning behind it, bro. I wish I could tell you.
Yeah, and I think even that I think that's got to play a role in it. When you don't go to the playoffs, But then again, let me look at this poll. I don't see. I'm looking to see if there's any Ivy League schools on here because they don't go to the playoff either. But yeah, I don't know. I have to look. This thing. I hate how Google is at times. I put NCCU and it changed to NCSU. I don't want to see North
You
Carolina
said are
State.
there any Ivy League schools?
Yeah, I was looking. I didn't see any Ivy League schools on there.
No, I don't either.
So New Hampshire, Central beat them 45-27 last year. Ooh, Lord, this is ugly. That Campbell game was ugly. But after that, they again went on to roll off many wins.
I feel like Idaho, UC Davis, North Dakota, Central should be ahead of all of them.
Yeah, yeah. And I can understand FAMU at 25 to an extent.
I'm not
Because
mad at it.
yeah, I'm not mad at it, but I think they should have. Yeah, yeah. Um, Man, I do want to say that 6 players from Albany State have been hospitalized for fatigue-related symptoms during practice. Um, this is something as heat increase. We were talking about today. You were saying it was like 106 in in Louisiana, in Monroe, and it's 110 here in Arizona. This is dry heat. Of course, y'all, it's humidity there.
Oh, I wish,
Um,
boy. It's straight humidity here. Can't even
yeah.
sweat.
So and when you look at it, I've had this conversation with some of my homeboys. We don't even have the conversation of like, back in our day, you know what I'm saying? Remember when we used to do 2 days or 3 days or whatever, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Be out in the heat, you know what I'm saying? Drink, this is a different kind of heat. Completely.
Yeah, but
Uh
I don't know.
I
I don't know how they playing games in this type of heat.
When you have um and this is people will think this is not political, this is factual, scientific. The ozone being eroded, you know what I'm saying, kind of at the rate it is. You got, sun is changing. You can look at the world, our weather,
It's hotter
you know,
now than it's ever been, bro.
ever been. And when you look at our, like, again, look at our weather, how many more hurricanes and stuff, that's all because of the heat and stuff. So yeah, it's definitely a different kind of, different kind of a time than when we played. You got to look at how coaches have to treat, things. I know when I was in high school, that's when they started implementing. Excuse me. At least here in Alabama, they started implementing at like around the 5 minute mark of every quarter, they would do a referee's timeout and make players drink water.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
did. They
so
did that in Louisiana too. They do that at least during the first month of the season.
correct. If I'm not mistaken, like here they do it like all throughout. I say that when it gets more into, I guess you're right, first month, because in October they don't really do it as much, and definitely don't
Yeah,
get no
it's like
coverage.
the first month of the season that they do it. Yeah,
Yeah, so definitely something to keep out. We've seen players pass away because of everything, with the weather and stuff. So yeah, it's just definitely something to keep an eye on. But praying for those players, praying for Coach Gray as he has to navigate through this. It's got
yeah.
to be tough. Saying it's a hard balance as a coach from pushing
As a
your
staff,
players. So as a staff, yeah, to push your players and push your team to fight through and get better, get stronger, and also watch out for their health. Man, it's definitely a tough one. Um, my bad. Now, man, moving on to basketball, man. Um, Former Alabama State guard and SWAC Woman of the Year for 2023, Ayana Emanuel. She signs a contract to play in Serbia.
hey,
I was gonna try to put the name of the team in here, but I wasn't gonna pronounce it right. No way.
don't even do it.
But
Don't
it
even
is
do
the
it.
first women's basketball league of Serbia. So, I'm saying congratulations to her. Wish her much success. Fine. Saying hopefully one day, saying the women. Well, men players have to go overseas too, but women players won't have to go at such a high rate. She can be, back here playing in the WNBA. So we'll
One
see.
day.
One day we'll get there. I believe WNBA gonna expand. So, um, who Will Bolden said that's a reason to have an indoor stadium that never comes up.
That's facts.
That's true.
I've been saying that. That's the big. To me, that's the biggest reason to have one. Is weather.
Yeah. Um, Last Monday, 3 West Monroe High School players, so I guess the West Monroe football players were rushed to the hospital as a result of heat exhaustion. That's true. I do know there is a Sunbelt school that was building an indoor facility. But when they built it, they didn't put the sides on because it was like it blocked out the sun, but it also allowed like this breeze to come through. So it was like they have that to kind of help them
So it's like
practice
a
outside.
shed type
Yeah, so it helps them.
pavilion or whatever.
Yes. There's another UAB is like that too. There's a saying a way to do it, but then they also are able to practice out in the heat, so they can adjust. But like I said, that goes back to that balance of trying to balance coaching, tough, making your team, preparing them to get better, and watching
Protecting
help.
them at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, so and a lot of teams don't have HBCUs don't have the resources where you have those monitors, those little broad looking monitors where you can put on and watch health and monitor their levels and stuff. If anything, that's something else we should invest in as a whole in all HBCU. I understand it's not necessarily realistic, but that's something that that's a measure to where it can save somebody's life. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, staying in the basketball realm, Grambling finished their Puerto Rico basketball tour. They finished 3-0, going down, playing the different teams in Puerto Rico. I'm pretty sure they played the Puerto Rican national team. So,
well, I think it's their junior team, but yeah.
Oh, the junior team. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of that, playing overseas or playing, Oconus, as they say, Morgan State, they're set to travel to Europe. They'll be playing 4 games in 9 days, exhibition games, of course, and they got stops in Belgium and France. I think they start off in Belgium and then they're going to work their way across and play in France.
That'd be a cool little road trip right there.
Yeah, it's good. Great for the student athletes, get out, see the world.
Yeah, the exposure.
Yeah,
exposing them to places that they've probably had never been before.
Yeah, big facts. But hey, man, let's go ahead and take a brief pause for our sponsors. And we're back. I got to see how it actually sounds like on the you know what I'm saying? Like on the actual podcast.
Pause in the middle of the show.
I hope not. That'll be very awkward. Very awkward. Speaking of basketball, man, UAPB coach is it Thompson? What's I always get her name mixed up with what you call it, from the AD from Alabama, from Florida A&M. I want to say it's Don Thornton. I always get yeah. But that's not right. It's not Don Thornton. It's maybe if I just Google her. Let's see.
What you looking
Don
up
Thornton. Well, I was trying to look up through Twitter because we follow her on Twitter, and I typed it in, but the internet moving slow. But I went to Google and it finally popped up.
Look at him.
What Chuck at when I need Chuck? Chuck,
Willie
you should have been
here.
Though. My bad. Willie said Don Thornton. He didn't beat me. He just put it up there. I seen him put it up there.
Man, he looked. It took him. He had to type it out though. You was actually searching.
No, listen, it's up there. Don Thornton, Coach Don Thornton, but she pulled in a big one, man. Wax Women Basketball Player of the Year, Star Jacobs.
Yep. She averaged almost a double if I'm not mistaken, like 18 and 8. At UT Arlington, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a big time get for the program and get you a bucket getter, low post presence player that you could kind of build your team around in a sense. So
Yeah,
you don't
definitely
become the
building on.
player of the year for the conference unless you're pretty good.
Yeah, building off of what they had last year to finish off. See, look at Chuck. There go with another one. Said Gramblin's defensive coordinator Cedric Thornton's wife. So
Interesting nugget.
Willie Bolden said that she's stacking talent to compete with
Yeah, she trying
JSU.
to.
Yeah, yeah.
She
Then
trying
they
to.
who beat UA? Was it one UAPB who beat Jackson State in the tournament last year? Who was it?
I
Southern on
think
the
it
last
was
second
Southern.
shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I know UAPB put out I think A&M. So yeah, it's definitely, man. Definitely big. Definitely building. And Willie said he knew that when he put that SU quick. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. But yeah, she definitely, like I said, is rebuilding that. I say rebuilding. Um, I guess
I
Willie
think
said
it's
it
already
best.
been rebuilt
Stacking.
now.
Yeah, she's stacking that talent, man. That's good to see, man. The competitiveness
Yeah.
in women's basketball as a whole, but man, the HBC, like I said last year, man, the MEAC and the HBCU basketball tournaments were the best tournaments of all of any D1 college basketball, in my opinion. The Big East used to be one of those, you know what I'm saying, Madison Square Garden, you know what I'm saying, love to see it, but like last year, there was no competition. The SWAC and MEAC tournaments were
Yeah.
just phenomenal.
Very competitive for real.
Yeah, reloading. That's another one. Stacking, reloading. So she definitely doing her thing, man. So big shout out to Coach Thornton. Um, uh, Xavier University of Louisiana. They made their men's soccer's debut on Sunday with a home exhibition, home friendly. I do know that one. It's not it's an exhibition, but it's called a friendly. A home friendly versus Jones College. So that's good. You know, so I know a lot of people have been speaking out saying they want men's soccer back. So
Yeah. It's a growing sport, man.
yeah. Yeah, so trying to see what else. And then it just popped up. We just talked about the Star Jacobs. We do got one more. MEAC named Coppin State volleyball's Maya Javon Coleman, the 2023 Woman of the Year.
Why you look at it like that, man?
Cause I was trying to make sure I said that right. You know how I be doing with names, man. It ain't fair.
Nah, I was laughing at your face. I think you did a good job pronouncing it, but your face was something else. But yeah, Woman of the Year. That's a big honor, man. Congratulations to her.
Big time, big time. Man, listen, we asked a question earlier on Twitter,
Yeah,
man.
we did.
Let me get to it. Let me see, because it was it was a lot of people. We asked. First of all, let y'all know what we'll be doing. We'll be doing HBCU Hour Ask weekly to kind of ask a question to give, you know what I'm saying, more info from the people, pulse of the people. You know what I'm saying? So this week we asked, what's the biggest matchup for this upcoming football season? And let me ask you, well, let me read what some of the responses were. Our good man Jamie Walker said the Soul Bowl. But Howard versus Central game in DC is also intriguing.
Okay.
Yard Talk, Miss Love, she said the challenge. Me
Swag
personally,
me egg challenge.
I'm guessing.
Okay.
Me personally, I say it's one or two games that actually, you know what? I'm gonna save ours. We can wait till the end. Mo Carter, he said Jackson State versus Southern in week 2. It's a non-conference game for bragging rights between these two rivals, but it will also set the tone for a rugged conference stretch that both teams possess in the following weeks. Excuse me. So, what you think?
I can see that.
Okay.
I think
What's
them all good guesses choices. What you got?
So I had it's two of them, and I think these two kind of may possibly decide their respective divisions.
Okay.
Alcorn versus Grambling.
Okay.
My other FAMU versus Alabama A&M.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. See, I was originally thinking the Orange Blossom Classic. That's where I was going at first.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say I'm gonna pick one from the MEAC and one from the SWAC.
I got one from the MEAC. I didn't say, but nobody actually mentioned any, well, except for
Yeah,
the
nobody.
challenge. Nobody mentioned
Yeah.
any of the MEAC teams. I mean, MEAC games rather. But go ahead. What you got?
What Jamie did with the Howard and North Carolina Central.
He
But
did. That's true. I'm
I'm gonna
sorry.
pick North Carolina Central, but I'm gonna say South Carolina State
That's one. That's the
and
one I
North
was looking
Carolina
at.
Central.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah.
And then for the SWAC, I would say Bayou Classic, but that's kind of like duh. You know what I mean? Like we all know that. But so I'm gonna say for the SWAC, I'm gonna say Prairie View versus Texas Southern.
Labor Day weekend. Okay.
Prairie View versus Texas Southern. I feel like both teams feel like they got something to prove. Both quarterbacks feel like they got something to prove. Even though they kind of established themselves already.
Mm-hmm.
And being that it's so early in the season and it's a conference game like that, I feel like it's gonna be probably one of the best atmospheres we see all season. So I'm gonna go with that as my SWAC matchup.
All right. You ready for this monkey wrench I'm finna throw at you?
Okay, what you got?
You got a ticket. You can go to only one of these games that we mentioned.
Ooh. I see you in New Orleans for the classic, baby.
We mentioned that one on the list. That one on the list. Well, I got.
I said, it's a no-brainer. I don't have to say it. It's like that's understood. Over now, if I can't say that one, then if I can't say that Jackson State Southern game Mo mentioned would probably be high on my list. North Carolina Central and Howard would be high on my list.
Mm-hmm.
The SWAC MEAC Challenge would Jackson State, South Carolina State and North Carolina Central would be on my list. I plan on being at the Graham Alcorn game in real life.
Okay, yeah, that's the one. If I had to pick, that's the one I would go.
So I mean, that might be by default because I'm actually probably going to that game.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's gonna be a great game too. What Willie mentioned. But if I had a ticket to one of these games, man, that's tough. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one, bro. I'm gonna go. Right. I'm gonna go with Graham versus Alcorn.
Willie say he do Southern and Alcorn.
Well, yeah, he's a Southern guy, so I understand that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with, like I said, Alcorn and Graham. I definitely.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a good one. I'm just so we don't have the same answer. I'll say Central versus A&T. Central versus A&T. I forgot that Jamie mentioned that one.
Yeah.
No, he didn't mention that one.
Not Central. He
Howard. Said the Soul Bowl.
Howard versus.
Yeah, he mentioned that Howard.
Soul Bowl.
Right.
Then Howard and Central. I'm gonna
go with South Carolina State Central then.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you a game that's not on this list that I'm actually looking forward to.
What's that?
So, South. I'm gonna say South Florida. Alabama State Grambling.
Yeah, Miles Crowley revenge game. Yeah. That's gonna be.
I gotta find my guys. Kendall and Khalil. Kendall more not Khalil more so than Kendall, because Kendall was like, listen, I understand.
Kendall was chill. He was chill. But boy, they better the Miles don't outplay
Khalil,
DD.
Boy. Khalil A.
Miles
Smith.
outplayed DD that day. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Khalil A. Smith, well, he had a lot to say.
Smith.
Yeah. Should I say Khalil A. Smith or should I say I would say Shannon Sharp don't have that many outlandish takes. Khalil Kellerman.
Khalil A. Smith.
Khalil Wright, Nick Wright, dude. He a Laker fan. Khalil Wright, a Laker fan too. I mean, I say Khalil Wright. Nick Wright, a Laker.
Khalil Wright, you done gave that man a name.
Oh man, shout out to the guys, man. At Wild Card, man. That's our guys, man. We'll have to make sure I'm gonna clip that. I gotta clip that for him. But yeah, that's a game I'm looking forward to.
Khalil Kellerman. That's wrong, bro. That's wrong, bro. It's
the alliteration, bro. It flows.
That's some dirty work right there, man. Some dirty work.
Oh man. But man, hey, you got what else you got before we get up out of it? I was looking. There's actually, Virginia State University coach not fond of Norfolk State. This is I just saw this on HBCU Game Day. In the article, basically it says Virginia State head coach said he's preferred not to be part of a rivalry game with Norfolk State. Then I'll leave that right there. We can talk about that a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we'll talk about that next time.
Yeah, we'll talk about that on Thursday. Y'all go read the article too. It's good. HBCU Game Day. They got good stuff, man. But you got anything else before we get up out of here?
Nah, man. Love your loved ones. Hug them tight. Give them a kiss. Tell them you love them.
Man, for sure. Hey, if y'all didn't see, we did the Golden Boot last night. Man, go back and watch. It was an excellent interview with Brandon Seho, just talking about mental health, man. So it may help somebody. Go back and watch it. Let everybody know. But other than that, man, we'll be back on Thursday. Like that. We out.
This show was presented by betonline.ag.
Yeah.